So, I can't be too loud because my housemate's still in bed, and also it's like 7:30 in the morning. Quick explanation of why I'm recording this now. She was in all day yesterday, so I didn't get a chance. Explained I don't record when people hear me, which is a little bit awkward. I've explained that to her, she's fine with it. Shout out to you if you're listening. So I'm going to London today, so I'm not going to have a chance to record this during the day. We're going to the Globe Theatre in London to see A Comedy of Errors by Shakespeare, and I'm really excited. Also, I have a cold. I think you can tell, but I have a cold, and it's really annoying me. So if I keep sniffing and my voice sounds a bit ugh, that's why. Now, you may have sort of seen the title of the video and thought, what is she going to be talking about this time? And yes, it is a slightly heavier topic than normal, I admit. But this week I went to see a performance of 1984 by George Orwell. Holy shit, that is amazing. I've never read the book, so I didn't quite know what to expect. I knew the basic gist, but I didn't know what to expect. Now, this was sort of like, I'm back to uni now, and obviously I'm on a performing arts course, so we're gonna go see shows. Yeah. If you don't want to know any spoilers about 1984, just leave now, because I know it's an old book and all that sort of thing, but some people haven't read it and some people would like to read it, and I really recommend it. I've started reading it now, but I really recommend it. Go and see the play or read the book, because it's amazing, and woohoo, it's quite heavy stuff. But yeah, so go now if you don't want any spoilers. Last chance, people. Okay, I'm assuming anybody who doesn't care has stayed behind. So the basic plot idea sort of thing is literally the idea of Big Brother is watching you. So everyone's observed every minute of the day. It's a huge dictatorship type thing. Really kind of creepy. It's set in 1984 but was written in 1948. So this was George Orwell predicting sort of the future. Some of his predictions are really kind of scary. Like the whole sort of, surveillance cameras nowadays are everywhere, but nobody seems to notice that they're all there. I mean, there's none in homes like it's portrayed, but they are everywhere, and it's kind of scary. It's also like the big corporate sort of thing, where it's one big company that rules everything. Google, I'm looking at you, don't screw us over here. I mean, it sort of makes you think, why am I not worried about this sort of thing happening when it actually kind of has been happening? Me and my friends had this huge discussion afterwards on the way home, just about massive issues. I mean, seriously, usually our conversations boil down to teasing and rude jokes. We're a bunch of girls. It's completely normal. We were throwing up issues like gender roles, freedom of speech, the general corporate idea like Google and everything. We were just like, holy crap, that is a good piece of theatre that can make you do that. That can just make these ideas be in your head for so long. I mean, we were talking about like how we ended up on the subject of the whole celebrities' nudes being put up, and I was just sort of like, I don't see why people are blaming the celebrities. It's like, a lot of people take nudes. A lot of people do it. It's a normal thing. I personally don't do it. That's because I'm single. But A lot of people do it. It's something that everyone does. It's part of sort of the sexual experience of experimenting and all that sort of thing. And yet people are condemning people like Emma Watson and Jennifer Lawrence for doing it. And it's like, guys, seriously, this is their private lives. We see enough of them. We have to see them nude as well. That's just disrespectful. It really annoys me. And we, I wouldn't normally talk about that sort of thing because honestly, I think it's pretty clear what my opinions on the whole thing are. I just had to talk about it. And it was just sort of like, but anyway, one of the most effective scenes, I think one of the scenes that really got me and my friends thinking was the Four Fingers scene. I'm obviously assuming that everybody doesn't care if I tell them about this because, spoilers. Now, if you don't want to know any of these scenes, I've given you a basic overview and that's fine. So the Four Fingers scene, the character gets taken to room 101. And at this point, you're all sort of like, what's room 101? I mean, I had no idea. Probably most of the audience knew because they'd either read the book or they just sort of knew. So that makes me look a bit stupid. So yeah, he's strapped to this chair and it's really disturbing. I mean, really disturbing. And the guy goes, how many fingers am I holding up? 4. Nope. It's 5. He gets like an electric shock run through him. Asks again, how many fingers am I holding up? 4. No. How many fingers am I holding up? 5? No. Just saying that. It's like, how do you know that he's lying? I mean, obviously he is. He doesn't really believe that there's 5 fingers there. He doesn't believe that the number is 5. But he's saying it to try and stop the torture. No, they said that's not enough. You can't just say it, you have to believe it. And that's the terrifying thing. They actually do make him believe these things. Like, he's in love with this girl called Julia, and they promise never to betray each other. You don't think you'd do that. You don't think that you would ever betray them. But they change his mindset so much. And suddenly, he's faced with his worst fear. That's what's in room 101, his worst fear, which is being eaten by rats. My friend doesn't like rats, thanks to that. That's one of her main reasons. Like, she read the book, and ever since she read it, she's just been terrified of rats, and I can't really blame her. It's a creepy scene. They take off his fingernails, they take out his teeth. They're beating him up, and then they attack him with these rats that have been starved. And he goes, do it to Julia, do it to Julia. It's fucking terrifying. Because you're sitting there, you're like, what the hell have you just done? He just betrayed the girl he loves. Saying he'd never do that. And you don't want to think that you would do that to the person you love. You might. If you were in that situation, you might. That's what's terrifying, I think. We all want to think that we wouldn't break under that pressure. How do you know? How do you know you wouldn't? The worst thing is, I don't know what would be in room 101 for me. They would. They would know because they'd have it there for me. And there are any number of things it could be. But my guess is it wouldn't be any of them. Because I don't know. And that's mildly terrifying. No, not mildly, completely terrifying. I don't like this thought. Now, we had a Q&A with the company afterwards, which was a brilliant idea. I mean, it was really short, but it was brilliant in all its awesome, I'm an actor, and I want to know how these actors are doing their things way. One question really annoyed me and my friends. I don't know who she was, she might be watching this video, but somebody asked, don't you think that the violence was going a bit too far? It would have been a lot better if we'd just shown mental torture. Have you read the book? Physical torture takes up, like, apparently a third of the book. Physical torture is a huge part of the book. And also, the physical torture is not as bad as the mental torture. And you need that. You need to see, oh my god, this horrible stuff they're doing to him. It's bloody gory, by the way. Ugh. I'm not usually bad with blood, but I was just like, a lot of people in the audience just couldn't look. They were just like, no, screw it. It was awful. But you need that comparison. You see this awful physical torture, and that's not the worst they do to him. They change his mindset. In the end, they're okay letting him and the girl he loves meet up again, unsupervised, because they know that their mindsets have changed, that they don't feel the same anymore. And it's really kind of, what the hell? It's just, ugh. One of the, I was quite proud of my question. I don't usually think of questions in these Q&A things. I'm usually the awkward ones that like, oh, okay. But I thought it looked really hard for them to get a character because of the nature of the piece. It's very, they said to us if they made a mistake, it would be like it was a glitch in life. So a very fluid piece, even though it seemed very restrictive, it really wasn't. And I asked, well, did that make it hard for you to create a character? And they said, yeah. In fact, the main guy went, next question, and I was just like, I want more than that. And I didn't have to say anything, but they were like, oh, come on, we've got to give him more than that. Because they said it was a really good question. I was proud of myself. But they said they couldn't make characters. It wasn't a character piece. It was about the story. It was about changing someone's mindset. And that really fascinated me because usually when you're an actor, you ask yourself, who am I? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? They couldn't answer a single one of those questions when they were trying to make a character. They'd ask their director and they'd be like, oh, there isn't an answer. Work it out. And that's, I was just like, whoa, you guys are amazing then, because they made it look so like they'd spent ages crafting these characters, when in actuality, every show is different in a way. Every show they do, there's a slightly different quality to the person that they're trying to portray. And it's like, oh my god. So you're, in a sense, making multiple characters by being given one. Sort of, But anyway, I've got to go because I'm going to be late at this rate. I'm slowly dying. I'm hoping that I don't die because I really want to see this show. So thanks for watching, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And once I've stopped dying, I will see you next week. Hopefully, if I've not curled into a ball and given up on life by then. See you guys.